The United States is now urging its citizens to leave Venezuela immediately. In a stark warning issued by the U.S. State Department, Americans were told to depart the country as soon as possible, as international flights resume and the security situation rapidly deteriorates. Officials say armed civilian militias, known as colectivos, are setting up roadblocks, stopping vehicles and searching for signs of U.S. citizenship or support for Washington. Venezuela remains under the highest U.S. travel advisory, Level 4, citing severe and ongoing threats to Americans on the ground. The warning comes just days after U.S. forces captured Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, in a dramatic operation that has sent shockwaves across the region and beyond. Yet from Washington, President Donald Trump is projecting confidence. Posting on social media, Trump declared he is already making Venezuela rich and safe again, just 1 week after Maduro's capture, offering no evidence, but thanking those who made it possible. At the White House, Trump met with top U.S. energy executives, urging them to invest in rebuilding Venezuela's oil infrastructure. He promised a new formula to divide oil revenues, saying Venezuela needs money, and the United States will decide how much it gets. On Friday, Trump signed an executive order shielding U.S.-held revenues from Venezuelan oil sales, blocking courts or creditors from touching the funds, and cementing Washington's control over billions of dollars tied to Venezuela's vast reserves. The White House says the move advances U.S. foreign policy goals. But in Caracas, Venezuela's acting President Delcy Rodríguez delivered a furious response. Calling Maduro's capture a criminal aggression, Rodríguez vowed to govern until his return, insisting the Venezuelan people, not Washington, remain in charge. She warned the operation would be remembered as a permanent stain on U.S.-Venezuela relations and urged citizens to remain united, calling the Caribbean a territory of peace.
Caribbean Sea, which must be a territory of peace. From here, once again, we will not stop condemning the criminal aggression against the Venezuelan people that occurred in the early morning of January 3, 2026. It will go down in history as a great stain on relations between the United States and Venezuela. So here there is no doubt. Here there are no levels of uncertainty. No. Here the Venezuelan people rule, and there is a government, the government of President Nicolás Maduro, and I have the responsibility to take charge while his kidnapping lasts. So this is the message for all of Venezuela. Let us keep marching together. Let us keep marching united, guaranteeing happiness, guaranteeing life, guaranteeing the future, and guaranteeing peace. Johanna, thank you. The defense of the peace of our homeland. There we are bringing together all of Venezuela, all Venezuelan men and women, to reject the vile and criminal attack of January 3 and to condemn that our head of state, President Nicolás Maduro, has been kidnapped.
Maduro's son echoed that message. Speaking at rallies demanding his father's release, Nicolás Maduro Guerra claimed the government is following a 5-point negotiation plan, personally approved by Maduro before his capture. He insisted Maduro is calm, defiant, and still considers himself Venezuela's president, even as he faces trial in New York, where he has declared himself a prisoner of war.
I tell you, everything that is happening, everything we are doing today as a government was the plan of Nicolás Maduro, which he personally approved himself. Everything. We are following his instructions. He left the line marked and he was prepared for everything. If something happens to me, here is this path and you know what you have to do. Here is the plan of the homeland. Here is the plan of the 7 transformations. Here is the negotiation plan approved by him. The 5 points that President Nicolás Maduro approved in December are what we are working on today, and the prosperity that the country will achieve is the plan that the president approved. We are following his instructions with our older sister, Delcy Rodríguez, at the head of the acting presidency and the collective team of the high political command. Now they do tell the truth. Anyone who believes them is peeing outside the pot. You have to listen to the leaders. You have to listen to where the information comes from. Unity. Unity. If before you disliked someone, well, now you cannot dislike them anymore. We have to love each other, all of us, because the only way to guarantee peace in Venezuela, to guarantee prosperity in Venezuela, and for Nicolás and Celia to return is that we remain united and in government in Venezuela, that the revolution continues to be the government. Unity around the high political command. All support to the acting president, Delcy Rodríguez, to Dr. Jorge Rodríguez, president of the National Assembly of Venezuela, to Diosdado Cabello, Minister of Interior, Justice, and Peace, to the Bolivarian government, to the Socialist Party and the Great Patriotic Pole, a coalition that includes the PSUV, to the Bolivarian National Armed Force. A round of applause for the armed force, our armed force dignified, resilient. Later, the truth will be known about how we fought. It's not for me to say it, it will correspond to the truth. Let us be patient. We are under investigation, but we will know how our heroic armed force fought until the very last second to protect our president. I saw him when he arrived in New York. Happy New Year, good night, my father said, with his serenity, with his composure. I have known him since I was born. I said it yesterday in a video conference. And when I heard his tone, my aunt, his older sister, called me and perceived the same thing I did. He is at peace because he has a deep faith in our Lord Jesus Christ, and because he has peace of conscience, the peace that comes from a clear conscience, peace of the soul, peace of the spirit. Let us have no doubt that they will return. That feeling we may have of helplessness, of pain, of anger must be turned into loving strength, because we are not a vengeful people. We are a people in resistance, but our feeling must be love and turning it into organization. Throughout the people of Venezuela, there is a great national consensus rejecting the criminal aggression of which Venezuela was a victim on January 3rd. The world has its eyes on Venezuela. They're watching us. They are seeing the tremendous dignity of the Venezuelan people. They are seeing the fury of the Venezuelan people that transforms into dignity and becomes organization. The second task is to remain in permanent mobilization. Permanent. Every day, go out to the streets, put up a leaflet, keep the flame alive. Keep demanding the release of the innocents, Maduro and Celia.
The fallout is now global. Protests have erupted in London, Paris, and Seoul, with demonstrators accusing the United States and its allies of imperialism, resource plunder, and illegal intervention.
I'm here defending Venezuela's sovereignty. I'm mainly opposing British imperialism's role on the war against the Venezuelan people. British imperialism has been involved in the war against Venezuela economically, including the role, the nefarious role in the sanctions, but also actually seizing gold from Venezuela, including during the COVID pandemic, where the Venezuelan government was not even allowed to use that gold here in the Bank of England. They're up to their necks in the role on the war against Venezuela. So we're here demanding that the United Kingdom stops the war against Venezuela. There is no way the United States, any president of the United States, has any right to accuse any government of anything. Given the United States that have brought tens and tens of millions of deaths around the world, that has invaded Latin America, Asia, Africa, they have no rights to do that. And obviously they have no rights over our oil or our resources.
We're here to say specifically to our own government that we have to make a strong statement to call for the immediate release of Nicolás Maduro, and it's not for any other country to determine who and who cannot govern other countries. We saw the situation with the tankers off the coast of Venezuela recently, in which Britain gave direct support in the taking of the Russian tanker. This is a really dangerous situation to confront with Russia in the ocean that could lead to a direct war with Russia, which would harm everyone in this country.
I'm here to support the Venezuelan cause, to support the Bolivarian revolution, and to also protest against the sheer immorality of not only Trump's kidnapping of Nicolás Maduro, the democratic elected leader of Venezuela, but also the equal morality of our own government colluding with that act. Is not only a violation of international law, it's also a violation of the articles of the Organization of American States, to which Washington is a signatory.
I want to condemn the criminal attack against Venezuela government, Venezuelan people, Venezuela economy, Venezuela, all the values of Venezuela. If it is happening in Venezuela, can happen in any part of the world, because as all the time USA treat us as guinea pigs and trying to test with us. This is one example what he is willing to do in any part of the world. Trump already threat to Colombia and Mexico and Cuba, and he's no stop like attacking the countries that they are defending Venezuela, and they told, okay, I'm going for you then to Petro.
In Paris, crowds marched near the Eiffel Tower, chanting "Yankees lead Latin America," as a French lawmaker accused European governments of becoming accomplices to Washington.
No one can prevent this crime. There is no force capable of doing so. And among the countries that do have such force, like China, for example, only China could intervene. But it is not China's policy. China does not interfere in the internal affairs of other countries. I have absolutely no confidence, for example, in the French government, or the British government, or the German government, which keep bowing to demands first from Biden and now from Trump. I believe the solution will come from the mobilization of the people. That is what can stop this barbarity. Donald Trump can afford to do all the things he is doing today because since he has been in the White House, all the other states, especially the European states, not only do nothing to oppose these actions, but allow him to proceed and become supporters and accomplices of them.
If Venezuela falls, it will be Colombia's turn next, then Brazil, Mexico, and Cuba, because other countries such as Chile, Argentina, and Paraguay have already aligned themselves with the United States.
And in South Korea, hundreds rallied outside the U.S. Embassy, calling Trump's actions a violation of international law and national sovereignty.
It has now been fully exposed that the real purpose was to plunder Venezuela's oil resources. The arrest of President Maduro is illegal, and even in the U.S. courts it appears that prosecutors are dropping the charge labeling him as the leader of the so-called solar cartel, showing that they themselves have lost any justification for this war. We regard President Maduro as the leader of a government that stands for the great anti-imperialist people, and we strongly condemn Trump for expanding war into Latin America. If there are difficulties in Venezuela, it is for the Venezuelan people themselves to address those. Trump's intervention is a violation of international law and an infringement on national sovereignty. I often see people online arguing that international law does not matter because everyone breaks it, but I think that argument is completely wrong. Only by raising our voices together to condemn the United States and Trump for violating international law can we move toward peace. I hope Trump will stop interfering around the world. I also think that even some of Trump's own supporters are now turning against him. Isn't it contradictory for someone who claims to pursue an isolationist policy to intervene in Venezuela? It makes no sense.
As anger spreads abroad and fear grows inside Venezuela, the contrast could not be sharper. Washington speaks of oil, order, and opportunity. Caracas speaks of kidnapping, resistance, and survival. And for Americans still inside Venezuela, the message tonight is clear: get out now.